Hey guys, welcome to the Coal Sauces Thought of the Walk, episode 43. Today I want to talk about something. I've been hearing a lot of language about not enough money to learn skills. And right now I think one of the most important things you can do in your life, I need to yell at my dog. Cece, come here. Come here. One of the most important things you can do is learn new skills that foster self-reliance. And when I hear people say, yeah, I'd like to learn that, but I can't, I'd like to learn to can, but I can't afford the canner. Or I would like to learn how to sharpen knives, but I can't afford the sandpaper or whatever, the whetstone. I think it's just an excuse when I hear that. And if you really want to learn something, you'll figure out how. That's how that works. But one of the things that's really easy to learn how to do is forage. It's free. It's free to learn how to forage wild food. And I was on this walk and I saw this great stand of oyster mushrooms. It's way up in that tree, so I'm not going to get it. If I was hungry, I'd get it. But I've been watching the stand for a couple of days, and that's my early indication that wild mushroom hunting season is upon me. We usually take a break in the summer to do wild mushrooms just because they end up not liking the heat. And then I looked across the road, and you probably can't see it real well in this video, but I'll walk up to it. And there's a pawpaw tree, some pawpaws hanging on it that are just about ready for me to shake that tree and get the pawpaws down. Mushrooms and pawpaw are both edible plants that grow wild where I live. And the reason I am 100% confident I can eat those mushrooms, because a lot of people are really scared of mushrooms, is I properly learned to identify them by getting to know people who knew stuff about mushrooms, and then identifying them first with those people. And then I went out and identified some of my own and then took them to those same people and said, this is it, right? I learned what other look-alike mushrooms there are out there, so I'd know if something was poisonous. And then after I did that, I'd made it a goal to add 2 to 3 new wild edible plants to my repertoire a year. And the pawpaw happened, and the persimmon happened. Hairy vetch, which is a green, happened. I learned you could eat plantain in salads pretty good in the early spring. And then I learned about wild mustard. And then I learned about some herbal things like jewelweed, which you can't see it real well. This is jewelweed right here, growing on the side of the creek. You would see a bigger, this was a giant bush about 3 days ago, and then the county mower came through, so now it's a few sticks near the creek. But jewelweed, which can be used to treat a rash caused by poison ivy, and you can plant it to choke out poison ivy. Those are the 2 main reasons to do jewelweed. I learned about that. And then from there, I just kept learning more and more and more. And I can tell you this, if I had to survive in the woods, I would love to survive in these woods. We had somebody come down here and recruit from Tennessee people they were going to drop into Alaska for a survival TV show. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. I don't know anything about the wild plants in Alaska. I'm sure there's some crossover. But if you're going to drop me in the woods to survive, drop me where I know how to survive. And that's here. And the cool thing about this is, I learned watercress. We got watercress up in the creek. As a result of learning this, I can go out on a nice walk like this morning, and I can look at what state of the plants are. This is all jewelweed here, all those yellow flowers you see. Not the big sunflower looking ones, but the little yellow flowers in the bush. I can go out and I can collect tea for winter, or for now. I can collect herbal remedies like mullein for congestion, which has been really important to us the last couple of years. We've had some chest stuff in the last couple of years. And I can forage wild greens for salads, roots for something starchy. Dandelion root is pretty tasty. For example, Jerusalem artichokes grow wild here. The way I get those is I look for where they've bloomed. Some down there right now. Hello, Jerusalem artichokes. There's those yellow flowers. There's lots of yellow flowers. I don't know if you can see those yellow flowers. Let's see. They're way down there. Anyway, I'll go out and I'll mark them where I see them growing. And then in the fall, I'll dig down after they've died back. And there's a root vegetable called a Jerusalem artichoke or a fartichoke that if you like boil it and rinse it, you don't get farty, but if you eat it raw, apparently it makes people toot. Grated raw in a salad, by the way, really is really good, but it may give you that gift that I just talked about. But I can get all of those things and augment my food now, which is pretty darn cool. It's pretty darn cool. And it's something I could learn for free. And in learning that skill, I've learned to observe how and where plants grow. And that's crossed over and increased my ability to not wild plants, plant and grow things that are just part of our day-to-day life, because I've learned to observe in my own garden the same thing. So it's a skill you can learn for free. Next time you're telling me that you can't learn how to can because you can't afford the canner and apparently don't know anybody you can borrow one from, go learn some wild plants in your area. Definitely worth it. Make a great week.